Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Katie. It is sweltering hot, so sorry I'm looking a little bit sweaty. But we're here now, and today I want to talk to you about the business journey that I've been on. I started my own business at basically New Year 2024, so about a year and a quarter ago. Is that right? A year and 3 months? Yes. I started a business and did better than I thought, and I think I've decided that what I want to use this channel for is talking about how I did that, and I still need a lot of support in a way, a lot of motivation. Like, I don't have it all figured out at all. So maybe I close the window and then you can hear me better. Maybe I start talking about it on this channel and it can be a space where we support each other. You don't have to be trying to start a business to enjoy it, but maybe you want to make a little bit of money on the side, or maybe you just want to know how to be more productive or more motivated in your regular job, like whatever it is. I think it'll be relevant. I think it'll be good. So I figure a good place to start would be to tell you about what my journey has been like, and it started off pretty rocky. I was working a 9 to 5 and it was just not good for me. It wasn't a good fit. I was really struggling, and I had started to kind of sow the seeds for setting up a little, would have been a side hustle at the time. I just needed a distraction really on the weekends. Like, that's what I would do to make myself feel better. But I hadn't actually done anything with it yet when I quit my job in December of 2023. And this was just before Christmas. I had a month's worth of holiday pay left, and so I basically said, I have the Christmas period to get my shit together. And that was what I did. I went to my parents' house. I spent the entire Christmas period learning as much as I could, building a website, figuring out what services I was going to offer. I'm in copywriting, content writing, so it was a lot to take in. It's a very competitive field at that entry level, and that's how I spent my Christmas holidays, and I actually kind of loved it. It was kind of exciting, but also a lot of pressure. And so in the very beginning, I was prepared for it to take a long time. I was prepared to not be covering my rent from writing alone every month, which is good because I needed that preparation. Of course, it would be pretty impressive, I think, to start making enough money to cover all your expenses right off the bat. But, you know, good for you if that's you. It wasn't me. So I was walking dogs, I was doing shift work at a place that I used to work. I was doing just as much as I possibly could to try and supplement my income while I tried to get this business going. This is the other thing actually that I should have mentioned I was doing over the Christmas period, and definitely in these first few months, was networking like crazy. I was joining every single group online that I could find while I was back at my parents' house. And then I went to London and I was going to as many events as I could, and some of those were not so helpful. Some of them were incredible. That really helped as well. So I was doing all this and I was looking for writing work primarily on Upwork because it just seemed like an easy place to try to connect with the right people who might want to hire me. And I didn't have a whole lot in my portfolio at this stage. I had written a couple of pieces in that Christmas period, but I didn't have feedback. I didn't have a lot to show for myself. So I was on Upwork. It's a bit of a race to the bottom. I don't like it for general work. I don't use it now, but when I was getting started, it was definitely really helpful. And it turned out that my first really good client came from Upwork, and they would go on to be a long-term client. They're amazing. I'm still working with them, and we met. They responded to my Upwork pitch and asked if they could call me, and they were in a different time zone. So I was like, oh, it's nighttime, like it's not. Here's the thing, it wasn't going to look professional, and I was stressed about this because I was at a laundromat getting my bedding dried because I had bed bugs. I fell victim to the great London bed bug plague of 2024 that lasted about 2 weeks. But guess who got bed bugs in those 2 weeks? Me, I did. So I was dealing with this, and this was really stressful. If you've ever had bed bugs, you know, and if you don't know, count yourself lucky. And the client didn't mind. I mean, I told him, he knew, what can you expect from someone at like 9-10 p.m. it must have been. But he wanted to send some test work over, and I said, yes, do it. And he sent it over right away, and I stayed up until 2 or 3 in the morning, I think, getting that in because I wanted to impress them, and I had laundry to do. When I tell you, so I stayed up all night doing my laundry and doing this work, and turned it in, went to sleep, and woke up, and they loved it, and I was so happy. And yeah, that was my first kind of breakthrough. It wasn't all positive from there. There was somebody after that who I had found on Facebook, I think, and it seemed at face value like it was going to be a good match. Like, I was up to the challenge. It was kind of in my area of expertise somewhat. It was the same thing. He sent me a sample. I sent him the work, and on my birthday, I woke up to a message that said, yeah, this isn't gonna work. This isn't a good fit. And I was like, I'm really sorry, let me try again. And so I did, and same response. And I dealt with that as best I could. I said I didn't even want to charge him for that work if it wasn't going to be useful, and we agreed on somewhere in the middle. So it was really nice of him to still pay me for that. But that was really disappointing at the time. I was crushed, and thank God it was my birthday actually, because I was able to forget about it for the rest of the day. But that was really hard, and it was disappointing, and it did make me think, am I doing the right thing here? Am I good at this? But you can't get hung up on that. You have to keep it moving. You have to learn from it. So that's what I tried to do, and he was good enough to send me detailed feedback and the work that they did end up going with. So it went as good as it could have gone, I guess. But yeah, it wasn't smooth sailing. And after that, things just kind of snowballed a little bit. I say snowballed, it's more like the snowball was gently rolling down a small incline. We were moving in the right direction. My client was giving me referrals. I was picking up a couple of random ones. And then I got another retainer client towards the end of the year, which I was super excited about because this additional income covered my fun expenses. I had rent covered every month, and that was it, and I had to, supplement the rest. But with this, I could stop doing that, and I could feasibly, not super comfortably, but I could pay all my bills and live my life just from writing, which was amazing. And somewhere around this time I also moved to New Zealand, which I did partially because I realised that I could move anywhere I wanted, and I thought, why not go as far away as possible? And also just, I had always wanted to, I don't know, I felt drawn to it, and I was paying such high rents and paying high prices for everything in London that I thought, I'm not making a shit ton of money. I'm not climbing a corporate ladder here. There's no huge big life reason to stay in London right now when I can always come back, and I probably will, or at least back to the UK for sure. So, that's kind of a tangent. That's not entirely business related, but it was a financial decision because I'm spending a lot less money here than I was in London, and it's not to say that everything's cheap, but it's cheaper. So that client that made up the kind of missing piece of my income came from LinkedIn, and I started to get a few inbound messages on LinkedIn. I think because my niche and my whole brand is apparently quite strong on LinkedIn. Okay, sorry for the lighting change. My phone shat the bed. And all this time, also, it's important to mention I'm kind of adjusting my niche. I'm responding to the things that are working and the things that aren't, the clients that are interested and the clients that aren't. And I'm kind of refining my services. So I started, it's like a triangle, and I started up here. I know all the advice is niche, 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 but I decided to ignore it. And I offered pretty much everything. I did quickly narrow it down so that I wasn't offering the things I actually didn't want to do. And yeah, it just, from there, I chipped away at things that didn't make sense and kept the things that did. And here we are. I just recently signed on a new retainer client who I'm really excited to work with, and I feel like this has been kind of another breakthrough point for my business, because I had a goal to out earn my past self, my corporate self, and I think with this new client we're gonna hit that goal. So I'm really excited about this. I feel like I've just made a breakthrough, just kind of started feeling like this is something that I actually can do long term. Because I'm not gonna lie, like when I was only covering my bills and nothing else, and that is how it was for a long time, I thought, is this sustainable? Like, I can't live my whole life just paying my bills. I can't live my whole life like this. What am I gonna do? Maybe when I get back to England I'll get another job, I don't know. But with this new progress, I feel really encouraged. I feel reassured that this is something that I can do. So that brings us to now. I still live in New Zealand. I've just started going to a co-working office, which is funny because I hated working in an office so much, but I feel like with the co-working office I get all the benefits and none of the drawbacks. I can go in whenever I want and nobody cares. Nobody cares if I show up at 11 a.m. like I did today. So I sit where I want. I spend as long on a break as I want. It's beautiful. And it encourages me to actually get some more work done. So I figured out that if I spend this much time in the office every month, and that means that I get this much more work done, it's gonna be beneficial. And honestly, it was kind of a no-brainer. It was a really easy decision. So that's where I'm at. I'm still kind of figuring things out day by day, because I did have a real motivation struggle as well at one point, which is part of the reason that I want to talk about this more on the channel. And I really want to use the channel more as well, because it used to be, back in the day, if you know, you know, a really good little side income stream for me. I mean, I wasn't making millions, but it was nice. It was a little bit of pocket money every month, and I'm all about diversifying your income streams, which is another thing I can talk about if you want in a different video. But that's my goal. I'm gonna be so real with you. Like, yes, I do want to share my life on my channel again and kind of reconnect with the community and share this motivation and productivity. And I think it's gentle productivity is my style, by the way. I'm not about the grind set stuff, but I also recognize that I really need help with it sometimes. So yes, there are those things, but I also think it would be amazing if I could use this as another income stream, because I think my biggest anxiety with freelancing is that you just don't know when you could wake up. I could wake up tomorrow and all of my retainer clients have said, we just lost the budget. We've gone under. Because I have a lot of anxiety. I don't know what else to tell you. And I would feel a lot better if I had more varied, diversified income streams. So yeah, so that's where I am. And if you have any questions, if any of the topics that I mentioned are interesting enough to you that you want to see another video, go ahead and let me know. I hope that this reaches people. It probably won't. I'm not at the stage where I'm making content that's designed to reach new people, really. I think I'm still kind of talking to the people that are still here and letting you know what's going on. And then I'll start to make stuff that's hopefully reaching out to new people, but also resonating with everybody. But if you are new here, welcome. I've told you what to expect from the channel. You can go and watch not my most recent video, I don't know what that was, but you can watch the one before it where I talked a little bit more about how I managed to get the ball rolling in business last year. I don't know, subscribe, stay tuned. We'll figure it out together. I need to go outside or like at least open a window now, so bye!